Every system of belief or unbelief in the world carries with it certain implications that if the belief system is true, then those implications must be true as well. One way to show the belief system to be flawed is to show that the implications are false. The idea that God doesn't exist implies several ideas that can't be true. Let's look at 5 reasons that atheism fails. First, atheism implies that human free will doesn't exist. Atheistic biologist William Provine stated, "Naturalistic evolution has clear consequences. Human free will is non-existent." Renowned atheist Sam Harris wrote an entire book on the subject of human free will, and he stated, "Free will is an illusion. Our wills simply are not of our own making." Atheist Anthony Cashmore stated, "We have no more free will than a bowl of sugar." These atheists admit that if free will exists, then atheism is false. Their solution is to deny human free will. However, the fact that you're choosing to watch this video right now proves you have free will. If humans do have free will, by all accounts, atheism is false. Second, according to atheism, if humans don't have free will, then they can't be held responsible for their actions. If atheism is true, there's no such thing as human moral responsibility. Atheistic biologist Jerry Coyne, in a speech titled "You Don't Have Free Will," stated, "I don't consider myself morally responsible because I don't have a choice." Again, Anthony Cashmore said, "From this simple analysis, surely it follows that individuals can't logically be held responsible for their behavior. You see, if we don't have a choice, then we aren't responsible. But each one of us knows that we have felt very real guilt when we've chosen to do things that we knew were wrong. If humans can be held morally responsible for their behavior, atheism can't be true." Third, according to atheism, real objective moral right and wrong can't exist. Charles Darwin stated that if a person doesn't believe in God, he can have for his rule of life, as far as I can see, only to follow those impulses and instincts which are the strongest or which seem to him the best ones. As philosopher Jean Paul Sartre admitted, everything is indeed permitted if God does not exist. If it's true that it is objectively wrong to murder innocent people just for fun, then by all accounts, atheism can't be true. Fourth, if atheism is true, human life is meaningless. Atheist Alex Rosenberg wrote, "What is the purpose of the universe?" in his book, The Atheist's Guide to Reality. He stated, "There is none." What is the meaning of life? Ditto, meaning there is none. Atheist Graham Lawton, the executive editor of New Scientist magazine, wrote a very brief article titled "The Meaning of Life." His first line read, "The harsh answer is, it has none." Dan Barker wrote, "You and I are like ants or rats or pieces of broccoli, really, in the big picture. We are no different than a piece of broccoli in the cosmic sense." If a human life has more objective value than a stalk of broccoli, atheism can't be true. Fifth, atheism demands that nothing spiritual or supernatural exist in the world. Now, that would mean humans have no soul. It would imply there is no such thing as real love or courage or virtue. But what we call love or virtue would just be a mechanism to pass on our genetic information. Richard Dawkins stated that humans are survival machines, robot vehicles blindly programmed to preserve selfish molecules known as genes. In a very real sense, if you have ever really unselfishly loved another person, atheism can't be true. Ultimately, atheism strips humanity of everything that makes us human. It denies our free will, our moral responsibility and sense of real right and wrong. It robs our lives of purpose and any real meaning, and it slanders every commendable attitude of love, virtue, and kindness as a manipulation strategy we use to pass on our DNA. In light of this information, C.S. Lewis's conclusion as he abandoned atheism still rings true. Consequently, atheism turns out to be too simple